I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear the words we all are about to see. When we win on November 8th, we are going to Washington and we will drain the swamp. So true. So true. An expression I've gotten to like.
Well, that was then-candidate Donald Trump repeating a line that became a rallying cry for his supporters in the closing days of his campaign. But now, top Trump advisor Newt Gingrich suggesting that the president-elect may stop using that language.
I'm told he now disclaims that. He now says it was cute, but he doesn't want to use it anymore.
He doesn't want to use drain the swamp anymore.
I don't know. I saw somebody sent me that note last night because I'd written what I thought was a very cute tweet about the alligators are complaining. He's in a different role now, and maybe he feels that as president, as the next president of the United States, that he should be marginally more dignified than talking about alligators and swamps.
Here now, Governor Mike Huckabee is Trump's supporter and a Fox News contributor. Governor, is he changing the mission or is he changing the message?
Well, I hope he's not changing the mission because it would be a disaster if he did. Look, there are some really good people who work for the government at the local, state, and federal level. We all need to be grateful for them. But there is a systemic problem in government, especially in Washington. And that message of drain the swamp is more than rhetoric. It is the reality that needs to happen. Donald Trump has an opportunity to do big and bold things in these first 100 days or maybe 4 years. He's got to do them. If he doesn't, we're going to lose this country, and we're going to see a lot of people utterly cynical because that's what he said he was going to do. And nobody from his organization has told me to back off of that language. And so just rest assured, even if I'm asked to, I'm not, because it needs to happen. It has to happen.
And
We've got
it really
to drain the swamp.
I mean, I could walk in a room during the election and somebody would whisper, drain the swamp. I mean, it really worked with his supporters. And to back off of that message, does that send a message to his supporters? You do wonder that, because you like it, Governor.
I just don't think that he really is saying, I'm not going to drain the swamp. I'm going to, tame the alligators. Let me rest assured to you, you don't tame those alligators. There is a huge problem. And I used to call it the Washington to Wall Street axis of power, where the people with money toss bucks at the politicians' feet and contributions and donations, and the politicians do the dance, and the money keeps coming, and the rest of the country, well, they take it, right in the middle of the teeth. It's got to stop. And the swamp really represents that insular community where the people in power are in power because of the people who have the dough, and the people with the dough know that the folks in power will do whatever they want them to do. That has to stop. Well, it has to.
I mean, and regardless of whether or not he continues using that phrase or he doesn't, we're not quite sure. His team has outlined these general restrictions on registered lobbyists in the Trump administration. I mean, they have set out detailed guidelines on how they intend to drain the swamp. But let's go now to backing off the lock her up pledge. We know that was a main theme during his campaign as well. Now he says, I don't want to hurt the Clintons. So, you put these all together, and that's what has people all of a sudden, New York Times can put together a piece and says, is he backing off his campaign promises?
Well, look, I think there's some things he's got to do. He's got to start building that wall and deal with the illegal immigration. He's got to lower the tax rate for corporations and stimulate jobs. He's got to push for term limits. He's got to push hard for that ban on lobbying after people, leave Washington. Washington has become the Roach Motel. People go in, but they never come out because there's so much money to be made there. If he can do some of those things, those are big and bold things. If he can do that, then I think he'll be well on his way to drain the swamp. One other thing he's got to do is get the authority to fire people who don't do their jobs. Too much civil service protection. One reason the VA is in the mess it's in, because nobody ever gets fired. 2 words Donald Trump needs to learn to use from his television show: you're fired.
Well, he's certainly taking his time with that pick. And I'll end on this note. This latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll does show that Trump's favorability rating has gone up. Those that rate it positive, it's gone up to now 40% from 33% back in November. The negative rating actually has jumped up a lot, though, and a lot more people have moved out of that neutral zone. So regardless of how you look at it, people have certainly formed an opinion on the president-elect just a few days before he actually enters office. Governor Huckabee, always good to see you. And you're going to want to stay tuned for this next segment, sir. Thanks for being here tonight, Governor Huckabee.